and welcome to From Kentucky to Tokyo. So, today I'm going to attempt a story time video? Yay! Well, there's technically two stories involved, but anyway, the stories that I have chosen for today are basically all around one theme: earthquakes. So, when you come to Japan, earthquakes will happen, eventually. They are just a part of life here. So, when I first came to Japan, of course, everybody forewarned me, oh, there will be earthquakes, there will be earthquakes, and I was like, of course there will be earthquakes. I've seen the news. I was here the same year that the huge, big March 11th earthquake happened. So, yeah, I was aware. I came to Japan anyway. I came to Japan in July of that year? Yeah. So I came in July 2011. My predecessor was actually still here. Elle. We'll call her Elle. I don't know if she'd like her real name to be here on YouTube, so yeah, Elle. She and I actually cohabitated for 2 weeks. We were roommates while she figured out the last of her stuff before she went back to America. She forewarned me. Oh no, really, there are earthquakes here. There are earthquakes. They still happen here. You don't understand. Aftershocks from the March 11th earthquake are still happening. And they're big. My brain was like, oh, okay. They're going to be big. There are going to be big earthquakes. Alright. Here's the thing, though. I am from Kentucky. As stated in my, title name, Kentucky. We don't have earthquakes. We have tornadoes, actually. That's, our big thing. But, anyway, we don't really have in the way of, ground shaking stuff. We just have, alarm sirens and, entire cities kind of being wrecked. But, yeah. Anyway, so, tornadoes happen where I'm from. Earthquakes are a completely different thing. For some reason, you can know something logically. You can, you know this, all of this information, but then it happens, and it's just completely different. So even though I had been prepared, even though people told me it was going to happen, I thought, I'll be able to handle this. The first time was only maybe 3 days into my cohabitation with my predecessor on Jet. So, I remember we were talking about something, doesn't even matter what, and then we went to sleep. When I woke up, the entire apartment was moving all around me, and my heart was just pumping, and I took my blankets off, and I'm looking around, and I could not believe that everything was moving. I could feel the earth beneath me moving, and just the whole experience was just mind-blowing. Elle, she gets up after me, and she goes, oh, earthquake, go outside. So she had forewarned me about this, but for some reason I thought, oh, it'll never get to that point, but no. Whenever the earthquakes were really big like that, as in moving the entire structure of our apartment, the way that we were supposed to, evacuate was we go out of the room, we go through the kitchen, and we go out the front door, and we go outside. And so, it was interesting getting up, and I'm still, I was just asleep. Very confused me. She takes my hand and is leading me through, and the ground, the apartment beneath me is moving. And I really, for some reason, I couldn't quite grasp that this was happening. I guess because I just woke up too, but I could not get over it. I was like, what? I think that was the main thing coming out of my mouth. Oh, and our cell phones, or her cell phone, I think. I maybe didn't have one at that time, but her cell phone was just blaring alarm sounds, emergency alarm sounds, which just didn't help my confidence at all. So, we go outside, and everything is still moving, and I'm looking around, around the neighborhood, and I can see, post signs, and I see other houses moving, and I see trees shaking, and I couldn't get over it. I couldn't get over everything, as far as I could see, was moving. And then, it started stopping, and I could feel the apartment just slowly going back to a standstill. But it took a while. And then Lauren, or Elle, the name that you didn't hear, Elle and I, we went to like an area where our neighbors could see us, and we were like, we're okay. And the neighbors like put up hand gestures and said, okay, we're cool too. And then everybody went back inside. Elle went right back to sleep. What? How can you do that? How could that just happened? I tried to keep all this inside. I didn't say that, but I just couldn't believe she just went right back to sleep. Like she went into bed and went right back to sleep. What? How do my whole world just changed and she's just sleeping. All right, fine. So I get into bed and I do not sleep. I really tried to go back to sleep, but my brain would not shut up. And I kept having, I forget what it's called, but it's like the ghost sensation of something moving around you. I don't remember what it's called, but there's an actual name for it. But I felt the phantom motions of our apartment moving. And I just like, what? So that was the first earthquake I ever experienced. And it was a doozy. And it was even on the news the next day. And there was some damage done to, I forget where, but there was some damage done in the city. And I just was like, whoa, okay, that stuff happened. Okay, so that was the first one I ever experienced. The next one, this story, whoa. So, not only does Japan have earthquakes, but Japan also gets typhoons. Typhoons, I knew about them, but I didn't realize that, oh my god, the rain. The rain lasts not like an hour. Where I'm in Kentucky, we'll have thunderstorms, and usually they're like a precursor to tornadoes and whatever, but they don't last all frickin' day. They usually last like, a couple hours, and then you can go about your day. No, typhoons, man, they're there to stay for like a 24, 48 hour period. They're just constant rain and wind. And, I hate typhoons. Anyway, there are typhoons. There are earthquakes. I got the experience of a lifetime when I got both at the same time. Oh my god. So, I was alone in my apartment, which was great because then nobody could watch me freak out. But, so I'm sitting there in my apartment watching some variety show, Japanese TV, and the lights start to flicker. And I go, that's kind of random. And then the winds pick up. And then the rain just slams down. And I have no idea what just happened. I'm like, oh, this is the typhoon I've heard so much about. And then my apartment begins to shake from the winds going this way and that way. And I'm kind of like, oh, okay. It's scary, but it's not too bad. I had already put up my shields for the windows. There are window shields that you'll put up, and they protect your glass and from like flying objects. So I already had those up. Oh my gosh, though. The wind picked up, and they were like slamming inside their casings. Like there were these metal casings, and they were just slamming back and forth. And it did not sound safe. Even though they're supposed to keep me safe. And then, about an hour into this, the lights finally decide they're done, and they just go off. And I go, oh, okay, well, this is what happens. Alright, so I just get a flashlight, and I'm sitting there reading a book, and I'm just waiting for this to blow over. And then my cell phone alarm goes off. And I go, no, you can't do that, nature, no. Yes, nature can, in fact, give you an earthquake in the middle of a typhoon. So, my cell phone's blurring, and I know that I only have maybe a few seconds before this thing hits, or it's about to hit very quickly. So I throw my book down to throw the flashlight somewhere. I shouldn't have done that, but I just kind of panicked a little bit. And I go towards the front door, and I realize, no, wait, there's a typhoon. I can't go outside. It doesn't sound safe outside. I had to stay inside. which is not the ideal situation. I should be outside because the apartments are old, and for big earthquakes, the ones that usually blare the alarms on your cell phone, you should be outside. Oh dear. So I go, okay. So I get between the door jamb and my sliding door, and I like open the sliding door, and I put my hands against like on the two doors, and I have my back to the door jamb, and I wait. And as soon as I like put my back to the door jamb, it hit. The earthquake hit, and I mean it hit, and something even fell in my kitchen and broke. I don't even remember what it was, but I just remember I wasn't gonna check it. And I'm standing there as this earthquake and typhoon thing is happening. So, of course, everything is shaking and everything is moving, and I'm just like, this is it. This would be it. This would be it. If there was ever a time when my apartment decided, nope, I'm done, this would be it. I had to wait it out, and because of the typhoon and the winds, it didn't feel like the earthquake was over for like 10 minutes, even though it couldn't have lasted that long, because earthquakes never do. Right, they just don't, but it felt like forever. I just stayed in that door jamb, and the lights are off. Did I mention the lights were off? So I'm in pure darkness, just waiting for whatever to happen. Oh boy. And so 10 minutes pass, the lights flicker, they come back on, and the TV just starts blaring, and I just stand there. Slowly I slide down the door jamb, and I just go, what the hell just happened? Oh my gosh. That was honestly one of the scariest experiences I've ever had in Japan. But it makes for a good story. So, those two, like, big earthquakes that I remember, that was my first year. To this day, I've never had an earthquake similar experience since then, and knock on wood, I won't again. Please no. Please no. That was not fun. At all. Very scary. So, yeah, but ever since then, 5 years have come and gone, and yes, the earthquakes my first year were strong, but I think that it's kind of an interestingly good experience, because from those earthquakes, I've been able to pretty much, like, look at any of the other earthquakes that have happened since, like, oh, okay, this is nothing. There's nothing that compares to what happened before. So, and I don't know, after 5 years of living here, I've kind of got an earthquake sense, so I will now wake up if there's an earthquake, and I'll feel it. I don't know how else to describe it, but I'll feel it, and I'll wait while it's moving around, and I'll be like, oh, okay, it's only a 3, and I'll just go back to sleep. Like, I'm like L now. I'm back to sleep. Nope. Sleeping times now. So, that is what I do. I just roll with it. Literally. I just don't care anymore. But some people, I think, never really get over the earthquakes. Like, some of my friends, well, friends of friends too, they talk about the earthquakes, and every time they happen, they're just like, no, I don't understand. How can people not freak out? I don't know. After 5 years of living here, I don't even have a problem with earthquakes anymore. And also, I really do account that one day where I got a double whammy of like 2 natural forces colliding together in my apartment space as to being able to just give me a more of a tougher, thicker skin for that. So yeah, that's my story time. Yeah, earthquake stories. Yeah, I got more, but not as exciting as those two. There's actually funnier ones, I guess, but yeah, that's about it. So, yeah, if you've got any questions about earthquakes, I guess, in Japan, or any comments about the story, please leave them in the comment section below. If you liked this story, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to subscribe, please do so. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.